Motley Crue right here on your classic metal show with the looks that kill. That one going out by request by a fan of yours, Chris.
Who's that?
I don't know who it is, but they sent an email, and you're going to have to look at it yourself.
Okay.
But they sent an email to the request email box, and they said that they wanted to hear Looks That Kill.
Okay.
And it said, "Hi, very funny show. Chris is a really funny guy. Could you play Looks That Kill by Motley Crue? Thanks."
What's the email address?
RB.
RB?
Yeah, and then there's like a lot of numbers after it at Gmail.
I don't know who sent that.
But they took your picture of you and Stephanie.
Oh, I must hold on. Now I got it right in there.
And they distorted it and made you look like Frankenstein characters.
Hold on. Now I got to get there.
The picture that you took with Stephanie where you're kind of head-to-head with her. And
okay.
I think you put it on the Facebook page.
Okay.
They made you look like almost like Frankenstein characters.
Let me see. Hold on. I was going to say, I thought you were doing that because you maybe caught wind that I might have actually been trading photos during that music block with another young lady.
No. This person apparently is a fan of yours, and they photoshopped your picture.
All right, let's see.
The Looks That Kill.
Oh, Jesus. All right. I guess I should put this up. Save image as.
I couldn't quite tell if it was Martian or more Frankensteinish.
I don't know. It's just distorted.
But Stephanie definitely looks like a square head. She looks like a Rock'em Sock'em robot with long hair.
I'll call this Frankenhead.
Frankenhead. So whoever recorded Looks That Kill is a fan of yours.
All right. Well, thank you, fan of mine, whoever you might be. I appreciate it.
I don't recognize the email address at all.
Yeah, I'll put it up. I'm putting it up over to the. I don't either. I'm looking, trying to figure out if I know who that is, and I don't. We'll go right here, photos, and then of course, if anybody wants to see this lovely photo, it is at facebook.com/thecms. Frankenhead. Type that in. Frankenhead. Thanks, RB. Post. And it should be there any second now. By the time this actually gets to where people can hear it. In fact, it's already there.
All right. Nice. All right. You sent over a bunch of stuff, and I know we're not going to get to even half of this tonight, but something that intrigued me from last week, you sent over a thing called Dick's Talkin' Politics.
Okay.
We got about a half an hour. How much into this can we get?
We can get into it, sure. Dude, I'm in no real hurry unless my doorbell rings.
Okay. So obviously you've listened to this a bit, yeah?
I gave it a good 10, 15 minutes in. I was like, wow.
So is this right off the bat something that really starts catching your ear?
Here's what it is. It's some guys that are definitely very Alex Jones-ish.
Okay.
You know, real Illuminati guys.
They're into the conspiracy theory.
Right. They're very into that. And they want to be us as well.
Okay.
And they're just not really good at it. I mean, I don't know that they're horrible, but they're just, I don't know. You'll hear it, and maybe I'm dead wrong on it. Maybe you'll get nothing from it.
Okay. Well, now I'm going to be somewhat superficial here.
Okay.
Do you think that you and I, in what we do here, influence anybody to do a podcast and go, I can do what those guys do, and I think I can be pretty damn funny?
I think so, yes.
Do you think there's anybody out there?
I definitely do think that.
Really? Because I've never given it much thought, but when you just said that they kind of want to be us.
I don't necessarily know.
No, I don't mean specifically these guys. I mean anybody.
I definitely do think that.
Okay.
I definitely do think that there's a show out there that we know that started because they liked what we were doing and thought they could do it themselves.
And who would that be?
Rock and Metal Revival.
You think?
Yep.
See, I don't see that they're trying to...
Jerry was a fan of this show.
Yeah, well, he was an early fan way before he started with Red and doing this and that.
Right.
And I don't even know that he wanted to do quote-unquote edgy radio.
Well, no, I don't mean that, but I mean, I think you just asked if people that heard what we do and wanted to start a podcast, and I'd say, yes, those guys did.
Sure.
You know, those guys definitely did, and guys like I'm now again, I'm not trying to pick or point or say anybody that sucks or whatever, but the Viper.
Yeah,
he heard us and then started his own deal.
he definitely tried to be
us
goofy.
Yeah, he tried to do what we did, and he didn't. But he tried it.
Well, I don't know about you, but I've been kind of jonesing for another episode of Smokin' Chowder.
I miss Smokin' Chowder.
Smokin' Chowder.
How ironic was it that his show was called Smokin' Chowder, and then at one point his house burned down?
Smoke and Chowder.
The chowder got smoked.
So silly.
Oh man, that sucked. I shouldn't make fun of him.
No, there's nothing to make fun of, but that just made me laugh because I actually ran across that the other day.
The Smokin' Chowder?
Smokin' Chowder.
Dude, I was listening to some really old stuff this week. There's one out there. I don't remember. I did not even remember this remotely. But do you remember a podcast that we did, or a section that we did? It was just called Meet Becky. Do you remember this at all?
No, I don't. I don't recall that at all. Meet Becky?
Meet Becky. She was some girl that called in, wanted us to give her Chris Caffery's phone number.
Oh, that I do remember because you were asking her if she was fat and if she ever met her. Yeah,
filled up a toilet bowl.
Yeah. I actually do remember that.
Dude, I did not remember it at all. I was listening to it. I was like,
you were asking her if she was hot, and she was in college, and
would she let me fist her with her keys to get Chris Caffery's
right?
I was like, holy shit!
And she was very meek and mild, but yet she hung in there with you.
Yeah.
And she had met Chris at one time, and she wanted to get his phone number, and you were asking her if she was good looking, and she said she thought she was, and
right,
and
couldn't get laid on Valentine's Day.
Right. I do remember that.
Yeah, it was like craziness, but it just was like, wow, man. I mean, we were just so on it. It was like,
you were just like, when you take a dump, do you fill up a toilet bowl? And
yeah, if you ever look in that toilet, does it look like there's a python coming out? Just fucking horrible.
Yeah, it was that. I do remember that.
I did not remember it at the time. Now I do. Obviously,
yeah, she was like so enamored with Chris Caffery, and we had just had him on the show, and he was promoting one of his solo records, and what can you do to hook me up with him? And I think he's awesome, and I would do anything, and
Yeah, and of course I had to challenge that anything.
Sure. I mean, well, when somebody comes on and says, I will do anything, you're going to find out what that anything would entail.
Yeah, you definitely are.
Sure.
So.
Well, I haven't even listened to this. I have no idea what I'm going to deal with here, but according to the Spreaker.
Yeah.
So far, this was posted a month ago.
Okay.
And it's only gotten 79 plays.
Well, that's a lot.
So, in 79 plays in 30 days, two plays a day.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So, for more or less.
That's pretty solid.
Dicks Talking Politics.
That's right.
Is that anything like beer, chicks, and politics?
That's why I thought of it.
Sure, of course. So these guys really consider themselves as being dicks.
Well,
or are they?
They're edgy,
or are they dicks in the sense of being investigative, like a private eye?
First of all, when you hear these guys, you'll know for a fact that that's not the case.
Okay,
they are just dicks. They're not. They're not overly thought out at all.
Okay,
or maybe they are. Maybe I'm reading it wrong.
All right. Well, one of Chris's and I's favorite websites, and it's not because we're on there, but because of the way that they have their audio available over there, is Spreaker.com.
Love it.
I love Spreaker. They have an app if you have an iPhone or any kind of a smartphone. I love it. It's just easy to use. That's just what I like about it. And it's clear, and it doesn't buffer, and it's just very easy to use. It's Spreaker, just like speaker with an R.
Right.
.com, and all the Classic Metal Show episodes are up there since Chris's return.
Yeah, everything since I rejoined the show. You know what's going to suck is we're going to run out of space eventually here. We only have like 50 hours left. We've already put up 60 hours of material.
Okay.
Since I've been back.
That's August.
Yeah, I mean that seems like a lot.
Yeah, Spreaker. I like Spreaker.
I do, dude. I might bump it up to the next package. Instead of just keeping it at 110 hours or whatever it is that we get.
Sure.
I might bump it up. I wish I could dump iTunes. I can't because obviously iTunes is the big boy, and
Sure.
We certainly get a lot of people that listen to iTunes.
Yeah, but Spreaker is just so easy.
Spreaker's better, but iTunes we get 10 times the traffic.
Sure.
So,
all right, well, let's jump into some dicks talking. TALKN apostrophe.
Right.
Talking politics.
That's right.
Come on, play. Come on. Oh, now it's playing.
1. Develop a new product. It's completely synthetic, therefore no growing, no refining, no peasants, best of all, no international borders, no customs agents. There in that case in front of you are 2 detailed prospecti on marketing, anticipated cash flow, and so forth.
You racist Americans. You just want to tell us stories.
Now, what is this we're listening to?
It's their intro.
And who is that?
I don't know.
Almost sounds like white supremacist stuff.
Could be.
I think there's no such thing as American anymore. No Hispanics, no Japanese, no blacks, no whites, no nothing. Just rich people, poor people.
We're here because you were there. We've arrived from every corner of the planet to this nation to seek the fulfillment of the promise of America. We were promised a better life in our home countries, where we were told that privatizing water and electricity would make things run more efficiently. Instead,
welcome to Dicks Talking Politics.
Oh, boy. Well, you know what? Now, I got to throw this out there because I failed to mention it last week.
Okay.
Our good friend Wheezy is always on the job, and he's always listening for stuff, and he threw a bumper to me of me.
Yeah.
Just, speaking of dicks talking politics, basically being a dick.
Right.
in my interviewing style. And when I listen back, especially with what he put together, it makes me sound like a jaded dick. Especially when he weaves together just my commentary alone out of context.
Right.
But Wheezy is just fantastic with the audio stuff, and I know for a fact that he's just learned this on his own.
Yeah.
And let me
go play it.
And let me get back to something here. I meant to do this earlier because the guy, our friend in the chat room, New Guy Mike, he sent me something this week that he worked on himself that he wanted me, he basically is a friend of the Doghouse.
Okay.
And he sent me, let me see, where is this thing here? Where is New Guy's mic? There we go. He sent me this thing this week where he made a bumper for us.
Okay.
He says, hi, Neeley. I'm not sure if you have any use for this, but I was trying out some new multi-track software and made a bumper for the real Jeff Tate and hope you like it.
Oh, all right. Nice.
So he made this thing out of out of our Jeff Tate thing.
Yeah.
And, he's like Wheezy. He just sort of started out with it and started practicing with it and put stuff together.
Okay.
And here it is.
Greetings and salutations, everyone. This is Jeff Tate. I am wearing a smoking jacket. Nothing boorish comes from a man in a smoking jacket. These days, I prefer a friendly game of backgammon. I am obsessed with sex. I'm paddling ham right now.
That's it. I mean, he could go further with that.
Love that.
Round it out a little bit.
Yeah.
But our fans, they think of us through the week.
I love that.
And
that's fantastic. Play that one more time.
Okay. Here it goes.
Greetings and salutations, everyone. This is Jeff Tate. I am wearing a smoking jacket. Nothing boorish comes from a man in a smoking jacket. These days, I prefer a friendly game of backgammon. I am obsessed with sex. I'm paddling ham right now.
There needs to be something more to round that out.
There needs to be red.
Well, regardless of what it is, it just needs to be finished.
There needs to be red on the back doing the whole. And now it's time to get intellectual with the most intellectual man in metal, Jeff Tate, or something. Something.
Yeah. It needs to just be finished out.
And then a final clip at the end about those other guys are dicks or whatever.
Well, but see, he's working it out like Wheezy did. Wheezy started like 4 years ago working this out, and now he's like really good at it.
Right, sure.
But now these guys, these dicks talking politics, they're putting their product out for public consumption per se. And they're not good at it.
No, they're definitely not.
So their production sucks.
Yeah.
But our guys who are just novices who just want to play around with it,
right?
They they outpace them 10-1.
Right.
So here we go.
This is your number one source for underground political talk radio on the internet, as we like to say, though, even though we don't really know the facts for sure.
What? We don't know. We don't let you know the facts for sure.
No, he said this is your number one source for underground facts, even though we don't know that.
Okay. Thanks for sharing.
We're the best, except maybe we're not.
Yeah, we're really good, but except we're really not.
Now we're the best. We're number one, except maybe we're not.
Sure.
Too is that yesterday night we found out that
yesterday night. How about last evening?
Yesterday night, dude.
Yesterday night.
Yesterday night.
Okay.
Episodes 1 through 3 had been, including the music talk or the music radio show we had on this account. The entire account itself had been compromised, and every single one of our episodes of Dick's Talking Politics was completely deleted, and I contacted the help desk or whatever you call it for the Spreaker Podcast Radio Network. And
where are these guys from?
I don't know. I can't tell. They're here. They're or at least they're talking about American politics.
Sounds like they're an East Coast show again. They sound like they're the Thrash Can or something.
It's the Thrash Can does politics.
My account had been compromised, and there wasn't anything they could do because the files had been deleted or whatnot. They couldn't recover them. So
now, is this like a transplanted guy from England or something?
He does sound British.
Yeah, he sounds British.
But he's into American politics.
Okay.
Back tonight with episode 4. If you look on our page, it's going to say episode 1. Luckily, I had that saved and downloaded. I'm going to keep doing that from now on, too. But if you look, it's going to be episode 1, then episode 4. So, yeah, we are back, and we're spreading the revolutionary words. And we don't give a flying fuck who's listening or what powers you going to use.
And you don't give a shit if you speak right into the mic or if you're, like, reaching behind you or...
Hey, well, you know, I'm going to be here talking on the mic here, and then I'm going to be over here, but then I might come back over here and talk a little.
What is it with people who take the time out of their lives to do this shit, but they can't do it right?
Well, you know, when I'm trying to do my show, I really like to kind of make sure that I sound like I'm like fading in and out, because if I sound like I'm actually on the mic, but it doesn't sound as good as when I'm right here, but it's still pretty good when I'm over here. Not nearly as good as when I'm right here, you know.
You do that pretty damn good, too.
I'm literally just bobbing my head back and forth around the microphone.
Fucking podcast. If it's the government, if it's the little bitch-ass motherfuckers out there with hack accounts or whatnot, you know, go fuck yourself. We're still going to be on the air live.
Really? You're gonna be on the air live?
Look, there's certain things in this world that I don't do. And, you know, I run my mouth about everything. I'm not going to challenge hackers. I'm not going to do that, especially after they zapped me. Because they've already proven they can.
Look at evil Batman. That sounded cool, Chris.
I'll bet it did.
But I like this guy with the fuck you. We're going to be on the air live.
That's right. We are.
That's why it's on a Spreaker account.
Because I guess you can. I think you can broadcast.
Yeah,
from
you can.
Live.
You can broadcast from Spreaker Live, but still, I don't see this as being a live broadcast.
I don't see anybody as caring.
Fuck your bitch asses.
What is Demon talking about? I'd really like to stay till the squirters knock on Chris's door, but politics? What?
Oh, well, she's expecting your former sister-in-law's friends to show up and, you know, just do something out of control.
They won't be doing it out of control on the air. I'll tell you that now. I'm not gonna bring them down before I, you know, pin them down.
Right.
You know, no.
Politics. I am your co-host, The Social Slaughter.
And your co-host skeeting all over you.
Social Slaughter?
Slaughter.
This is this guy's name?
He's Social Slaughter.
What is... Again, we've talked about that before. Everybody with their stupid on-air names. This is Social Slaughter.
That's not mistaken with Sergeant Slaughter from the old WWF.
Right. Well, you would meet this guy on the street and go, "Hey, isn't that Social Slaughter over there?"
Shit, look who it is. It's Social Slaughter.
What do you call him face to face? Hey, Soch.
Yeah, hey, Soch. What's up? What's up, Slot? Dirty Slot.
The Mind Masturbator.
And
the
Mind Masturbator. Really?
Social Slaughter and the Mind Masturbator.
So stupid.
Look at Demon. My on-air name is Snail Trail.
You know what? Demon lives not far from you.
Oh, really?
I just wish she would come out to one of our things so we can meet her. She sounds like a cool chick.
If she really lives near me, then she needs to reach out to me. We're going to put out I don't know how we're going to do this yet. I haven't thought about it yet.
She lives about 50 miles east of you.
Then one of the things you and I have been talking about doing is we're going to have a select few fans over here at the Man Palace.
Right.
And we're going to do a broadcast this summer where we're going to party all day, get good and hammered or whatever the fuck, and then we're going to have a bunch of mics set up, and we're just going to do a show with me and you and whoever's here.
Right.
and just kind of leave the mics open, let people pick their own segments, talk about whatever they want to talk about, and we'll riff with different fans. I know Kim from Chicago said she's going to come, and Stephanie's going to come, and I'm sure John will be here.
Did you say Stephanie's going to come?
Well, boy, I wish. Really, what do I care what she does? Well, as long as she gets me.
Right.
But I mean, we're just going to kind of do that and have some fans up here. I'm sure MOL will probably show up. Kurgan, I'm sure, will be here. We're going to turn it into an event and make it the first annual fucking free-for-all. But if she lives close, she needs to come.
Yeah.
She needs to come over.
Right.
We'll have fun.
Sure. Well, just plan that for the summer.
Yeah, well, dude, spring, summer, somewhere in there. It's happening.
Okay.
Everybody bring an umbrella. Steph's going to be there.
And Cassie needs to make a little trip to the south.
Really? I might make a trip to the north.
Right. Look at the evil Batman. I'll go if Kurgan picks me up.
Too funny.
Let's break the ice a little bit. You're kind of pissed off. I bet you're just as pissed off as I am about this whole situation with her.
Overly pissed off, especially with the information we already know about the internet censorship bill that's gone through. That pretty much allows the NSA now to shut down any website without any real particular reason other than they don't like it.
Or it infringes on certain copyright means too. I think it's the hugest. Hugest. It's the hugest.
Is that even a word? Hugest?
It's the hugest.
It's the hugest. How about the biggest?
It's the hugest.
Or the largest? I don't think
the largest, biggest.
I don't think hugest is a word, is it?
No.
Okay.
We make up words sometimes here.
It's fucking ginormous.
Ginormous.
But, I think the biggest thing has to come with that the internet censorship bill has to be the copyright too. I mean, the corporations think they're losing so much fucking money when it comes to quote unquote internet piracy. Even when you have corporations that have to deal with like social media and the movie industry and the music industry too, who are making record profit regardless.
Yes.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Did it end?
I think they died. It's the hugest.
Did it end? Seriously?
No, it's just
One. Develop a new product.
Back to the controversy between, you have the right as a private owned establishment to hire and whoever you want for whatever reasons, but when it be only till it becomes discriminatory. I don't know if you can call it discriminatory if you're not. I know you're not, because you're not forcing the information, but you're requiring someone just to take a test about some. It's almost like, well, now you gotta know how to mop the floor, know how to sweep the shit. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple.
You gotta learn how to get on your knees and pray to God. Yeah.
Don't forget your holy water.
What?
These guys are good.
Okay, well, I'm glad they fill their podcasts full of facts.
Yeah, it's good so far.
Okay.
Splash it. Splash the holy waters.
You guys don't do communion there or anything?
No,
No.
I was pissed. Like, she told me that, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like, they actually have to take those classes. But anyway, we're kind of going off topic. But what that kind of reminded me of, and I was just kind of thinking, that was one of the topics I want to talk to today. It's nothing like a topic, but it's just kind of something I thought was interesting. I even forget his name. It's just like I completely forgot about it. But Louisiana, the governor of Louisiana, I guess the Louisiana school system is so poor there that he wanted the taxpayers to give like a special relief fund to certain children that want to go to private school.
Right.
And the bill completely failed.
Right.
As a whole.
Really?
Yeah, but
I bet we know why that failed.
Oh yeah, but I mean,
So why did it fail?
Well, he bets he knows.
Okay.
the rhetoric he used in his speech, and I'm sorry I don't have information for it, but if you...
Well, it's always good to back up your statement with fact.
Yeah, it's always good to, especially when you're going to make a point.
Yeah, especially when, well, I don't have the information. This is what he said.
Too funny.
Okay. Again, preparation, boys. Yeah. Be prepared. If you're gonna make a point, at least have your facts in line.
Look it up and go ahead. I don't even know the governor's name. I was just kind of...
How about Bobby Jindal? Why would I even know that?
Yeah, well, it's because you spent all that time in New Orleans.
Okay.
3 days.
Yeah, that's Mr. Bobby Jindal.
Yeah, that's exactly.
No, Bobby Jindal. Okay. Why would I even know that?
Come on, Wendell.
I don't even live in New Orleans, and I already knew who that was. I don't know who these people are.
You watched him speak when those fine citizens were floating down the streets.
Sure.
Jindal. And he's a fundamentalist Christian, Republican, and basically feeding to the fundamentalist Christians, who a lot of private schools are religious in their own special rights. I mean, I don't really know many private schools that aren't religious, that aren't Catholic, or
not many.
So a lot of private schools. I mean, there's a private school from where I'm from, California, called the Orange County School of the Arts, or the Orange County High School of the Arts, OSHA, and it's a private school, but you basically go there for kids that want to go to school for something other than what we're bred to do. So
what we're bred to do?
Yeah, they're bred to do it.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I guess they were born and taught that way.
So private schools are bad.
Yeah, apparently.
Is that the message here?
Apparently so.
So if you go to a private school that's, funded by private money, that's a bad thing.
Horrible.
Okay. I just wanted to get that perspective. So basically what he's saying is that if you divert away from public schooling,
right,
taxpayer funded schooling, it's bad.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Like arts, pottery,
how to work your creative
writing,
mind and not be a
basically.
slave for some other creative mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he brought up this bill that basically said, like, we're gonna have the taxpayers pay for certain kids to go to private school because our school systems are so fucked up. So, and the rhetoric he used in the bill too is, or whatever it was, is basically saying, like, our school systems are so bad that we need to start helping kids go to private school and learn from higher learning and all that sort of thing. So it's like, really? So yeah.
So this is a bad thing.
Apparently so.
So by admitting that the public school system failed,
yeah,
and in funding, voucher systems for people to, pursue higher education, this is a bad thing.
Horrible, man.
So what's the conspiracy here?
Dude, what do you mean what's the conspiracy?
They're breaking ranks with the the regular folks. Is that the deal?
Yeah, apparently.
It's like, instead of putting the taxpayers' money into a working school system, they're going to put it into a fund where private schools that are majority, the very high majority are Catholic or religious Christian institutions,
right? And
which
really
completely goes against the Constitution from every standpoint.
I don't remember reading anything in the Constitution about private schooling.
What?
That's religious based. I don't remember reading anything in the Constitution that says anything like that.
Dude, you just didn't read it well enough.
Apparently not. I mean, I'm not the most educated person in the world, but are you down with this? Am I wrong with that thought process?
Dude, first of all, every time I read the Constitution, I find all kinds of goodies about schools. Like, yeah, And then there was, you know, there's nothing about private schools. Dopes. They didn't have private schools back when they were.
It goes totally against the Constitution.
They didn't even have private schools when the Constitution was written, did they?
I
can't imagine. They barely had schools.
They were just a fledgling country at the time they wrote the Constitution. I don't think they were branching out to private schooling or not.
Yeah. It's just crazy.
So, actually, let me find something.
It's like one of those things that's kind of like it's wrapped in something beautiful, and it's really a pile of shit inside. And it sounds like good for a minute, you know, because we all know the public school system is pretty fucked up, and they're teaching a rhetoric for short-term thought process and bad test. It's not the way to conceive information. And some private schools, you can get better hands-on learning, much better, much more personal.
Because the classrooms are smaller.
Absolutely.
You actually have to pay a tuition to go to private college. If you don't know that, that's what it is. So.
Well, like you have to donate the most money to get in as fast as possible.
Yeah, it's basically like pay.
Are you kidding me? You have to donate the most money to get in as fast as possible.
You know, the mental masturbator, he makes some great points.
Well, I can't figure out, are these guys bashing private schools or are they pro private schools? I can't.
They're against, dude.
But they were saying that public schools are fucked up.
Well, they're against all schools, public and private. They're probably for school shootings.
I can't quite figure out what side of the fence these guys stand on.
I told you these guys were good.
So, are private schools good or bad?
Bad.
Okay.
But that doesn't make public schools good.
Okay.
They're all bad.
Wow.
It's all a conspiracy, man.
So if you go to a private school, there's a problem with that. But if you go to public school, you're going to get fucked up education.
Yeah, man.
So what do you do in between?
Homeschool.
Okay.
Which is pretty much the American way up until past the high school system. So I'm trying to find, excuse me for kind of not really.
Hail and kill caller, you're on the air.
Why is the guy that's doing most of the talking the one with the worst microphone?
Well, maybe you should ask the guys over at Talking Metal, because obviously these guys are trying to emulate them.
Yeah, I guess so. And the one dude that's just chiming in like every 3 minutes or so with a one-liner is the one that you can actually hear.
Well, again, this is free. It's available to anybody, so anybody can podcast or broadcast, if you will.
It's worth every penny.
Which is nothing.
Exactly. And as far as what they're actually saying, I know where they're going with this line of thought, but I know because I've read a few books. But
Really?
The average person listening to it isn't going to know what the hell they're talking about because they're not articulating their point very well.
I don't even know what they're talking about, because I can't figure out if they're saying private schools are good or if they're bad, or if public schools better, or where the taxpayers' money should go. I'm not really sure what their point is.
I think what they're wanting to get at in their own half-assed way is that we should spend the tax money to fix the public school system, and that private schools are. I'm sure they're going to get into this eventually, or in some eluded, implicit way that especially in the South, in Louisiana, which is where he's talking about. The whole public school system is very segregated. It's mostly black kids. Most of the white kids their parents take them out and put them in private schools.
Oh, this is a racial thing.
They might not say it, but it probably is.
They're saying it without saying it.
Yeah, or else they forgot to say it.
Ah, so now we get down.
Knows it.
Now we get down to the crux of it. It's a racial thing.
Yeah, in New Orleans public schools, there are like 78% black, and the private school enrollment is something like 90% white.
Okay. How do you know that?
I just read a book recently called "Better Off Without Him" about why the South should secede.
You were actually reading?
Yes, believe it or not.
I thought that was a thing of the past.
Well, you know what? I'm always lagging behind with new things.
Well, thanks
for
for
your buddy Jeff. Jeff, I'm sure, has somebody that reads to him.
Maybe I read the book to give him fodder for things to say, but
sure.
I found myself getting interested.
Oh my God! I can't believe you're for your own personal edification, you were actually reading printed word.
I'm a big reader.
Ugh, disgusting. You're just old school.
Yes, I am.
Man, get with the times.
Does it count if I read it on a tablet?
No, you got to watch some kind of reality TV show.
Oh, fuck that noise.
All right, well, thanks for the clarification. I was completely lost where these guys were going, but I'm glad you're of the same mindset.
It seems like right now they haven't gotten into the race thing, but they're leaning more toward a lot of the private schools being religious based, so that they don't teach any science whatsoever.
Gotcha.
So they're going to get into the evolution thing soon, I'm sure.
Right. Perfect.
So whether you disagree or not, that's where they're headed.
Gotcha.
Sure.
Well, thanks for clearing that up.
Fuck you, pal.
Did you gather that from their podcast at all?
No comment.
Okay. All right.
Seeming unfocused, but I'm looking for something right now, and it's just something I kind of want to find, because I thought it was fucking hilarious. So let me see if I can find it.
Lots of preparation here.
Just found a report about what you were discussing a minute ago with this whole using public tuition for private schools. It was judged unconstitutional by the state judge.
The state judge.
Yeah, obviously, it's pretty nice. That's what I was saying. Mainly, obviously, because that would be against the Constitution. Absolutely.
It would be against the Constitution. I don't know about you, Chris, but I don't follow that at all.
What?
It's against.
Dude, there's all kinds of amendments to the Constitution that has to deal with public funds for private schools.
Right.
All kinds of them.
I didn't find any of that.
I haven't read any of them, but I'm sure they're there.
Okay. As long as you're confident that it's there,
yeah,
I'm a believer.
Yeah, because, I mean, what people really don't understand, and what people... Yeah, Bobby Jindal, there we go, sorry.
Yeah. Teaching creationism
is unconstitutional. The separation of church and state was written into the Constitution for the American way when this nation was first founded, because the people that came over from England were persecuted for their religious beliefs, and they believed that the monarchy was completely controlled by religion. So why would you want religion in your politics to begin with? But people don't seem to understand that fact, because the majority of people in this country base their voting bias against people's religious denominations.
Yeah.
Do they?
I don't know. Dude, I always love when we do any of these how you try to actually fit into what they're saying.
Well, I try to reason it out, and I'm trying to give everybody the benefit of the doubt that they actually are thinking people. But I think you have less confidence in that, and you think that just everybody are idiots. So that's just the difference between you and I. I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Right. You're just so jaded that everybody's just an idiot.
Yes, pretty much.
Report, so I saw it. There's one person in Congress right now, one person that has declared herself unaffiliated with religion. One person.
Only one.
One person in Congress, and she's a female.
That's pretty amazing.
And who would that be?
Why would they tell you?
Are you going to name names? Are you going to back that up with any kind of facts?
Who knows?
Just one person. And she's a female. And she's in Congress.
Yeah.
Who could that be? Out of over 600 and some people in Congress?
Barbara Bachman?
She disassociates herself with any kind of religious belief.
Does she?
Really?
And like, I think the overwhelming majority are Christian. Very few Muslims, very few Jews, and very few other religions too. But it's basically all Christian. So,
so basically, what is this guy saying? That he doesn't believe that any kind of religious background or Christianity belongs in any kind of thought process.
Apparently.
So that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
You know, regardless of your thought process, that there is no room for any kind of religious, belief system at all.
Right.
Even though that's what our Constitution is based on, is the Judeo-Christian work ethic.
Yeah, of course.
But we deny that.
Right.
But, of course, he doesn't bring that up as being part of the Constitution.
No, of course not.
this is a page out of a science book that you would get 6th day of creation. So, dinosaurs and man would have lived at the same time. God's word is always accurate. We can trust it to be true, even in areas of science.
You know what? Either Doghouse listened to this ahead of time, or he really knew where these guys were going.
He picked it up. That's why I didn't want to say that.
So he really knew where these guys were going, that it was going to boil down to science and creationism and, lack of religious belief.
Right.
So he knew what was going on.
Could have.
What do you have the date on that book? That was an issued science book for traditional public school curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that sounds absolutely horrendous. That's
even when you can believe that when carbon dating is a proven fact. It's used in forensics. It's been used on fossil records and this and that. It's just
right, of course. Well, they'll always tell you that somebody just decided to
precedent over others. You wanted to bring up, in correlation to what we were talking about with our site being compromised and our episodes being deleted.
Yes.
Hello. It's just dead?
Yeah.
The judge that was in charge deemed it unconstitutional and was like, "Yeah, go fuck yourself," You stupid creationist, radical fucking Christian.
Is that what the judge said? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, that was his decree.
I don't recall any judges saying "go fuck yourself," you creationists.
Right.
It's pretty rare that we get an actual state representative or somebody at least that's in any sort of this position that actually speaks for themselves or has a moral standpoint. Generally, they're swayed by the depths of their pockets.
Or an actual person of the law who is understanding of the Constitution and understanding
is
of
completely unbiased
policies of the United States and can make a ruling that's actually just.
Right.
But like we were talking about, basically issues that need to be taken precedent over others. You wanted to bring up, in correlation to what we were talking about with our site being compromised and our episodes being...
Now, do these guys actually believe that their audio podcasts have been taken down due to the fact that they don't jive with government propaganda?
Yeah, man.
That's what they're thinking?
That's what they're thinking.
So basically they're thinking that these two geniuses,
right,
their words have been taken down because of their viewpoint.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
Or maybe they didn't just maybe they just didn't upload it correctly.
Well, that could be it too.
I'm going to go with the latter.
Yep.
These guys don't seem like the brightest crayons in the box.
No.
I'm not thinking that the Obama administration is monitoring these two. I'm going to use a MOL term, these two douche nozzles.
Okay.
Thinking that these two are the most dangerous guys on the internet, spreading anti-government propaganda. I don't think that's happening.
Yeah. No doubt.
So they're not the smartest guys in the world. Okay, I'm going to listen about 2 more minutes of this.
Yeah, no doubt.
Talk about.
Well, that would be a direct, overlay into the whole deal with this Internet Censorship Act. Even whether it went through or not, what day was it that I believe Obama officially handed over the entire Internet over to the NSA? And CIA came on public and television before that, a couple months before that, and announced publicly that they are using everybody's cell phone, everybody's computer, everything that has the two-way, it says all the way up to your refrigerators. You know, all your little high-tech refrigerators that has a weigh sensor in it when you pull out your gallon of milk and it puts it on the fucking list for you.
What? A weigh sensor in your refrigerator?
Yes! That doesn't happen for you?
No.
You don't have a weigh sensor?
I don't think so. The only thing that I've seen had a weigh sensor was like in a hotel room in order to charge you for, using some of the complimentary or less than complimentary products in the room, be it an internet cable or a bag of M&Ms or, but I don't see that it's happening in your home. Do you?
No. Dude, stop it. Of course it's happening in your home.
Really?
Yes.
So through the AC electrical wall, they're also got some kind of a weigh sensor for your refrigerator to weigh that gallon of milk that's sitting on the shelf?
Dude, they got to be able to keep statistics on what you're eating and how much and when and what time.
Look at Mr. E. Little Miss Muffet needed a weigh sensor. I don't even know what that means.
Doing a little more than just making a grocery list, I promise you. It's not very expensive nowadays to put in a two-way microphone or a two-way all sorts of video sensors. It's cheap. It's cheap now. It's old technology.
And even with the technocracy too, you have companies.
Did he say technocracy?
Yeah, the technocracy.
Okay.
Google and Apple that make cameras and two-way interaction points over online things with ease too, so can be easily manipulated.
Oh yeah, you wonder why a lot of your high-tech, expensive electronics fail. The main reason is because ever since electronics have been designed, they have been designed with back doors in them so that they can be outside accessed from all sorts of angles and tapped and controlled. It's pretty damn amazing. So basically what we're saying is that if you guys have a cell phone anywhere in your general area, if you have a camera on the top of your laptop and it's not covered by some dark tape or a sticky note or something, if you're not keeping phones away from you during important conversations, you should try to do the best you damn can, because before you know it, there's going to be pictures on the side of our street that have the damn fucking microphones and cameras, and if there aren't already. We already got the trees, branches, and the damn parks, if you haven't heard about those.
What? The trees and the damn parks?
Yeah, the trees in the damn parks have cameras built into them.
Is he talking about like Google Earth or something?
No, he's saying that the trees have cameras installed in them.
Oh, so they're basically installing cameras right into the trees.
Yeah.
Okay. So they got weigh sensors in your refrigerators?
Apparently.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And where does that data go, and how is it collected?
To the NSA, dude. There's a file on you.
So that box of Velveeta cheese has a specific weight, and they know it's Velveeta as opposed to a 6-pack of Pepsi.
Right.
Okay. There's a weight sensor. I don't know, dude. This was just...
You had enough, or you want more?
These guys. I mean, I know that stuff is available because I'm sure you have stayed in hotel rooms where they have,
sure,
like I said, like, a bowl or a mini bar, if you will, and they can kind of tell what you used.
Right.
But in your house, where you buy a refrigerator, by plugging it into the wall, that it can be censored somehow?
That's what they're saying.
Okay.
I believe them.
All right. So do I. All right. Well, when is your sister-in-law and her naked chicks going to show up?
Now, let's not get carried away. I never said anything about that. They were in a city that's about 25 miles from here.
Okay.
They were closing the bar, so they should probably be here any minute if they're coming.
All right.
Well, I have no guarantees that they're coming.
All right. Well, we should probably wrap up the show so you can get your freak on with these single, divorced.
Stop. Why does it got to be all that? Well, why can't I just be having a drink with them?
Yeah, because it's 3:00 in the morning, almost.
So what?
3:30 in the morning, and you know what happens to single ladies, especially ones who are middle-aged, and they're just, burning with that desire.
Dude, they're going to be with my sister-in-law.
And your sister-in-law isn't middle-aged, and she's ready to rock?
All right, now what? Now I'm what, going to bang my brother's ex?
I didn't say that.
What are you saying?
I'm saying she's bringing her friends over who are of the same ilk.
I'm not saying that anything is going to happen.
I didn't say that it would happen. I'm just saying she's saying, hey, I'm bringing my friends over. It's 3:30 in the morning.
Just happened to be texting me.
We're liquored up. We're ready to rock.
Enough. They're not here yet, which makes me suspect that it ain't happening, period.
Okay.
But, if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Hey, you got the whole man palace there. You got a place for everybody to crash.
That's right. That's what I'd be providing, too. A place for everyone to crash.
Right.
And no, Wicked Cassie, brother's ex. I thought he meant his ex's sister. No. Definitely not my ex's sister. Oof. Not going to miss her being not in my life.
Nice.
Really didn't like her.
All right. Well, sounds like a party at the Aiken Palace.
Look at Jesus. What? Chris has whores visiting tonight? Come on now.
Hail and kill caller, you're on the air.
Greetings and salutations. Just a little drop in to let Chris know that he should get the Crisco ready and pop it till it's purple.
Right. Well, it doesn't sound like Chris will be paddling ham anytime tonight.
No.
And for that, I congratulate you, sir.
He'll have somebody over there paddling his ham for him.
Jesus, come on now.
Just excuse me just a moment. Miranda, go with Mr. Summers, please.
He's got Andy Summers at his house.
Go with Mr. Summers. That man there. Go with him. I'm just trying to sweeten the deal a little bit.
Right.
Oh, my God.
Just do whatever he says. I don't know. I've got to go take care of this. Fuck you, pal.
Jesus Christ.
See what kind of trouble you get into sharing your personal life on the show.
Why am I getting in trouble? I didn't. First of all, I didn't share it on the show. I shared it with you in a private message.
Well, you said the sister-in-law was texting you and said that
to you.
Okay. Well, all I can say is that I'm envious.
Why?
Well, you never know.
Why? I'm busy on the chat as we speak.
Sure.
I'm sure you've heard me clicking away for fucking hours.
Right. I can tell you're very distracted.
Why? I've been following along. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, what he said. Okay, continue.
Oh, whatever. Whatever. Look, I have people in my world now.
I know, and
I want to interact with me.
I envy you.
No, you don't.
Sure I do.
Sure, you've been there.
Right.
You're still there.
Right.
You just don't bring it to the show.
You're
I'm just
right.
the dope that brings it to the show.
Hey, I've shared a few things.
You have.
All right. Well, I think we should close out the show.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's 3:30.
Yep. Well, I'm in a mood. I'm in a mood for some Pantera.
All right.
I want to get out of here. I want to thank our guests tonight. I want to thank Zach Stevens from Soikel to Soikel.
Right.
And Whiskey from 33 Love Child. Our good friend Bob Nalbandian.
Yeah.
People who want to participate with us for God knows why.
Right. Justin Murr.
So these guys are good dudes hanging out with us. But I think I feel brutal tonight. And
okay.
I love Pantera's. Probably one of my favorite CDs from them is Far Beyond Driven.
Okay.
And one of my favorite songs, I know this was kind of a hit song, but it struck me when it came out.
Right.
And I think this kind of is very apropos for you, too.
Okay.
This is Pantera with I'm Broken.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
All right. Well, we'll be back next Saturday. We'll do this thing all over again. Tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern time for the replay.
Yes.
And we'll be back. We'll do it again. So here's Pantera. Take you out a little on the brutal side. Far Beyond Driven. I'm Broken. It's Pantera exclusively here
on your classic metal show. Bye, kiddies.